Good morning. I am 5 minutes earlier today. As always, if you're watching in recording, you can fast forward about 5 minutes to the beginning of the actual practice, or you can stay with us through our hellos. As I have been doing lately, I'm gonna try the sound on my computer, so if you hear me twice, don't worry. Good morning. I am 5. Okay, the sound seems working. Good morning, Catalina. Good morning, Gina. Yes, Gina, happy December. Oh my God, it's already December 1st. Good morning, Mary. All right, it is time for us to start, and we continue to explore the practice of mindful self compassion. In the next few days, I want to do a little overview of all the self compassion tools we have learned so far. So, today, let's talk about the cornerstone of self compassion practice, which is the basic recognition of our suffering. It seems very simple of a concept, but really it's not that easy for many of us. We often tend to diminish or completely dismiss our pain by comparing it to some greater suffering, suffering that other people are experiencing, or suffering of the world in general. I want to illustrate this with an example from my life. As you may know, I have chronic migraines. And in the past, in addition to physical pain, there was even some shame for me around it. How is it possible that I've had migraines for so many years and no matter what I try to do, I just can't seem to resolve this? So, very often, instead of acknowledging the mere fact of this suffering, my suffering, I would push through pain, trying to convince myself that it wasn't all that bad. Well, at least I had the money for the doctors and drugs. At least I had a home to live in. At least I didn't live in a war zone. So, in a way, I tried to force myself to be grateful for all these things without validating my very real experience of pain. And even though gratitude is, of course, an essential practice for our well being, and that's a fact, we can't really use gratitude to mask our suffering. It just doesn't work this way. Sooner or later, it's bound to backfire. And it did for me, because what I was actually doing was pushing all the pain and suffering down, pretending I was okay, comparing myself to other people that were more in pain, or so just basically saying to myself, oh, it's not that big of a deal. So not surprisingly, I was actually creating more and more tension in my life, in my body. And one day, I just had such a horrible migraine that I literally couldn't move, or work, or eat, or sleep. I had to go to the ER, receive morphine IVs to just ease the pain at least a little bit. I was put on heavy drugs that made me completely loopy. I couldn't focus on anything else anymore. So finally, I had to pay attention to my suffering. I had to acknowledge it anyway, right? I had to learn how to be compassionate to myself, to ask the question, what do I really need? And that finally set me on a healing journey. I mean, I still have migraines, they didn't magically disappear, but I have realized that exercising compassion toward myself moment to moment is actually much more effective than dismissing my own suffering. My attitude toward my suffering changed, and my attitude toward others changed as well. I became less demanding of other people, of myself, less perfectionistic, kinder. And in my experience, it's much easier to live this way. Yes, there is still a lot of pain, but paradoxically, by acknowledging these moments of my suffering, I actually decrease the overall suffering in my life. Isn't that interesting? So I hope this can help you change your attitude toward your suffering, to be kinder to yourself by eliminating this comparison element. Yes, I'm in pain, whether it's physical or emotional, but it's nothing compared to so and so, like we often do. So, really, this is not a competition. So I really want to encourage you to stop that comparison. Of course, it is important to have perspective and not to fall into the trap of constant self-pity. But um, we can do we can acknowledge our suffering without self-pity by just remembering our common humanity, remembering that suffering is normal and it is a part of everybody's life. And remember that it's not only okay to practice self-compassion, it actually makes our life easier, brighter. So now with all this in mind, let's do the very basic self-compassion practice, a self-compassion break. So take a comfortable position, and as always, take a few moments to settle in. Scan your body, notice what's going on for you today, physically, emotionally, mentally. Notice your breath. Let it be natural, easy. And now I invite you to think of a situation in your life right now that is difficult for you. Maybe you're feeling stressed or having a relationship issue, or you're worried about something that might happen. Think of something that is difficult for you but not overwhelmingly challenging. So what is the situation for you? Really bring it to life in your mind's eye. And now take a moment to set an intention to practice self-compassion toward this situation, toward yourself in this situation. And notice what comes up for you as you set this intention. Is your first reaction to dismiss the suffering, to compare it to some greater pain that you know of? If that's the case, don't worry. Remember that we are all guilty of that. And simply say to yourself, this is a moment of suffering. So bring mindful awareness to the fact that suffering is present for you right now. And maybe you need to add some more words of recognition here, like, this is really hard right now, or I'm struggling. Repeat the phrase that resonates a few times, paying attention to how it lands for you. This is a moment of suffering, or whatever your phrase is. Now remind yourself of our common humanity, shared humanity. Suffering is a part of life. We all have some sort of pain. At this very moment, many other people go through something similar to your situation. You're not alone. Suffering may be different. The flavor of suffering may be different. But it is a part of life, part of being human. And again, find the language that speaks to you. It may be something like, it's normal to feel this way, or many people are going through this situation, or a similar situation. So again, repeat a few times. Suffering is a part of life, or whatever your phrase is. And now try to bring real warmth, kindness into the mix. You can say, may I be kind to myself in this moment. Or if that is difficult for you, perhaps, may I begin to be kind to myself in this moment. And to bring a very practical kindness to yourself right now, you can ask, what do I need right now? What do I need right now? And let your answer come from your body, from your heart. Maybe you simply need to put your hands over your heart to feel your soothing touch. Maybe you need to promise yourself to take it easy today. Maybe you need to set an intention to change something in your life, to begin changing something. What do I need right now to express kindness to myself? Once again, scan your body and notice how you're feeling right now, allowing any sensations to be just as they are, allowing yourself to be just as you are, right here, right now. As you go through your day today, I invite you to take these self-compassion breaks as often as you remember. So 3 parts to it. Acknowledging your pain by saying, this is hard, or this is a moment of suffering. The second part is reminding yourself of our shared humanity. Suffering is a part of life, or it's normal to feel this way, or many people go through a similar thing. And third, bringing kindness as an intention or as a very practical thing, a soothing touch, or maybe an intention, or watching a movie, or whatever it is for you. And try to enjoy these as much as you can. I hope when you take those self-compassion breaks, your day becomes easier. The overall amount of suffering in your life decreases. So your life will become softer, brighter, more spacious. Thank you so much for being here today. Tomorrow is Lorna's breathing practice, and I will see you again on Saturday. Bye.